evening. My name's Kitty. I could have married, I've given gallons of blood, and I can't stomach whelks, so that's me for you. I don't know why I've been asked to interrupt your televiewing like this, but I'm apparently something of a celebrity since I walked the Pennine Way in slingbacks in an attempt to publicise mental health. They've asked me to talk about aspects of life in general, nuclear war, peg bags. I wasn't going to come today, actually. I'm not a fan of the modern railway system. Well, wouldn't you object to paying £27.50 to walk the length and breadth of a train with a sausage in a plastic box? Anyway, they offered me a chopper from Cheadle, so here I am. I'm going to start with the body. You see, I don't mince words. Time and again, I'm poked in the street by complete acquaintances. Kitty, they say to me, how do you keep so young? Do you perhaps inject yourself with a solution deriving from the placenta of the female gibbon? Well, no, I say I don't, as a matter of fact. I'm blessed with a robust constitution. My father's mother ran her own abattoir. And I've only had the need of hospitalisation once. That's when I was concussed by an electric potato peeler at the Ideal Home exhibition. No, the secret of my youthful appearance is simply mashed swede. As a face mask, as a nightcap, and in an emergency as a draft excluder. I do have to be careful about my health because I've got a grumbling ovary that once flared up in the middle of the gondoliers. My 3 rules for a long life are regular exercise, hobbies, and a complete avoidance of midget gems. I'm not one for dance classes. I feel that if God had wanted us to wear leotards, he would have painted us purple. Anyway, I can't stop chatting here, much as I'd like to. My maisonette backs onto a cake factory, so I'm dusting my knickknacks all the day long. And I shall wait to see myself before I do any more. Fortunately, I've just had my TV mended. Well, I say mended. A shifty-looking youth in plimsolls came and waggled me aerial and wolfed me gypsy creams, but that's the comprehensive system for you. Anyway, I must go. I'm having tea with the boys in flat 5. They're a lovely couple of young men. And what they don't know about Mikhail Baryshnikov's nobody's business. So I'd better wrap up this little gift I've got them. It's a gravy boat in the shape of Tony Hancock. They'll be thrilled. Now, who had hold of me showerproof? I shall be cross if it's missing, because it's a lovely tangerine poplin, and I doubt I shall find another. There's a mauve pedestal mat of mine, too. Oh. Well, I don't know where to start. I was in the cafeteria here, and a woman sat down with a prune yoghurt. And her speakers are fine, so I said, what's that terrible smell? She said, it's my grief. And I said, well, it wants washing. She said, do you mind if I smoke? I said, not a bit, but if I get bronchitis, will you stump up for the bed jacket? That told her. Then she came out with it. She said, I'm Arabella Fitzhenty, and I'm on tranquilizers. I thought so would I be with a name like that. But I just kept mum and busied myself with my munchmallow. She said, you probably recognise me. I do the advisory programme. I'm very big in the provinces. I told her, you've yet to click in Cheadle, which I think hit home. Anyway, she said, Kitty, could you possibly fill my slot for me? I cannot cope. I've left me culottes on the underground. It was trainee day at the bikini waxers. Yes. And I've got a raging case of premenstrual tension. All this in a voice loud enough to blow the froth of a Horlicks 2 tables away. So I leant over, tapped her on the cleavage with a pastry fork. I said, my mother gave birth to twins in an unheated washhouse and then got straight up and finished the mangling, so think on. I've had my share of gynecological jip. I still can't polka without wincing, but we're spunky and Cheadle, we've tottered on. Anyway, here I am with these. Dear Kitty, it says Arabella. My boyfriend and I used to make love at least twice a night, but now it has dropped off. I'm not surprised. getting tired of me? Well, I'm getting tired of you, and I've never even met you. What's this? Sex, more sex. You'd all be much better off with an 800-piece jigsaw. This is the sort of letter I prefer. Do dogs go to heaven? Hello, Catherine. No, they don't. What's this say here? I have just moved to a strange area. What on earth for? How can I meet a lot of people in a short time? Well, you could get caught shoplifting. You know, making friends is a matter of give and take. I give my friends advice, and they take it. I never speak behind people's backs. If I've anything nasty to say, I pop it on a postcard. If there's a noisy party going on in the block, I don't complain. I just zip up my cocktail slacks and get over there and get friggin'. Or whatever the current dance craze may be. You see, I'm so popular now that people hide in shop doorways when they see me coming because they feel inadequate. Now, I have to dash. I've a manic depressive chum to visit. I go every week. I read her The People's Friend from cover to cover. I do all the voices. She never seems to cheer up. Now, where are those parsnip baps, Morag? Morag! Now, honestly, Morag, I do think that Brillo has helped your freckles. What? Oh, hello! We've been having a running buffet for the last programme. We all mucked in on the nosh. I did my butterbean whip. It's over there in a bucket. And the director did us a quiche. I suppose it's his acne, but I definitely detected a tang of Clearasil. The producer didn't cook, thank goodness. She's a nice girl, but when someone chain smokes Capstan full strength and wears a Coleman's jerkin, you're hardly tempted to sample their dumplings. First day I met her, she said, I'm a radical feminist lesbian. I thought, what would the Queen Mum do? So I just smiled and said, we shall have fog by tea time. She said, are you intimidated by my sexual preferences? I said, no, and I'm not too struck with your donkey jacket either. Then it was, what do you think of Marx? I said, I think their pants have dropped off. She said I was referring to Karl Marx, who, as you know, is buried in Highgate Cemetery. I said, of course I knew. But were you aware, I said, that Cheadle Crematorium holds the ashes of Stanley Kershaw, patenter of the Kershaw double gusset? To my mind, a far bigger boon than communism. I said, don't tell me the Russian women are happy, down the mines all day without so much as a choice of support hose. It's all right, leave the bottle. In Russia, show the least athletic aptitude, and they've got you dangling from the parallel bars with a leotard full of hormones. And what has China ever given the world? Can you really respect a nation that's never taken to cutlery? We bring them over here, and what do? They litter the high street with bean sprouts. I know what you're going to say. What about the Chinese acrobats? Overrated. I could hop up on a unicycle and balance a wheelbarrow on my eyebrows, but I'm far too busy. If I was to take to juggling, I should never get any rummy played. Not that I think Britain's perfect. Oh, no. I see life each week from the train window of my Cheadle Saver. And I think I can safely say that people today aren't pegging enough out. Well, you should see what I see. If I was Prime Minister, and thank goodness I'm not, because I've been the length and breadth of Downing Street and never spotted a decent wool shop. But if I should put a hot drinks machine into the Houses of Parliament and turn it into a leisure centre. The income from that would pay off the national debt. And we could all meet in Helen Murchison's extension. I should also put 3 pence on the price of a flip-top bin, because I don't like them. And use the spare cash to nationalise the lavatory industry, resulting in a standard flush. Furthermore, I would confer knighthoods on various figures in the entertainment and sporting world, namely David Jacobs, Pat Smythe, and Dolly of Emmerdale Farm. Before I leave you, I must say I have much love coming here every week to put you right. And I'd just like to pass on a piece of advice given to me by a plumbing acquaintance of my father's. It's an old Didsbury saying, I've never forgotten it.